Thank you for removing that fuzz from the table.
You're welcome.
You know what's funny? I'm reading. Yeah, I read those comments and I do those. I do those videos at the computer, the ScreenFlow type things, and people are getting tired of seeing the bouncing. Maybe I shouldn't tell people because now they're gonna look for it in all the videos.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about?
There's a bouncing icon in the bottom right for Adobe Updater or something.
The Creative Cloud.
No, it's not even the Creative Cloud one. It's just Adobe Professional Acrobat Reader.
Why don't you just upgrade it? So it doesn't bounce.
I do, but then it gets upgraded. Then they wanted you to upgrade it again. I don't see it bouncing.
Yeah.
The screen is 27 freaking inches. I rarely look at that, so that actually doesn't bother me when I see it.
Yeah, but for those people that aren't on a huge monitor, they're seeing it at 1080p on their tiny monitor.
Or 1440.
Or on their phone, or...
Well, they won't see on the phone. It'll be like a minuscule thing.
Never know.
Be like totally minuscule.
I'm surprised it doesn't bother you with all the little things that normally bother you.
Dude, the desktop is so... Can you get that piece of white? Right there. No. That. In the middle. No, no. Not that scratch. That scratch doesn't want that thing. Yeah, that was doing it to me. All right. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and welcome to RAWtalk, episode number 104. We're calling it Big Ass Glass. Yeah. We're calling it Big Ass Glass, and you're going to have to see why when we get to the portion where we talk about gear of the Mofo Week. How was your week?
It was good. It was busy. We did a lot yesterday. Edited most of the week, for sure.
Yeah. I would have loved to have you edited yesterday, too.
That would have been nice.
Well, it's one of those unfortunate things when something happens. I'll tell everybody. I'm going to tell everybody at home.
I figured you would.
I'm going to tell everybody. I actually made a note on here. We are inching closer and closer to getting out the Froknows Photo Guide to DSLR video.
Very close.
It is done. The guide has been done. But then what you have to understand is you can't just throw it out there and be like, hey, buy this now. You have to go through a process to make sure that the sales page looks good, to make sure that it reads well, because there's certain ways that it's quote unquote supposed to be written. Not that I play into the infomercial telemarketing type thing.
No,
you know what
definitely
I mean?
don't.
No, I won't do that. I definitely won't do that. But we tried to film yesterday the little commercial type thing that you do before.
Yeah.
Try to give everybody a look inside, the preview, it's like a tease. It's showing you what's in there, and it's like, hey, you like this? Then buy it. Now the first ones I did on my own, I wrote it, and they were literally a page. I could memorize it. The script that we came up with here, and we rarely do scripts at all.
Never.
It was 6 pages. And that's not normal. So we tried to do it line by line, but that was almost impossible. So I've never used a teleprompter. It will be here tomorrow.
You did order it.
I ordered the one for the iPad. I hope it magnifies it a little bit.
We'll probably use it like once.
But that's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't want to use a teleprompter, but when you pick certain keywords that you want to hit, you don't want to say the wrong thing when you're promoting a product, because if you say something wrong, then it misleads people. And the last thing I want to do is mislead people when purchasing the product in the actual sales. We call it a sales video. It's like any commercial you see on TV. They don't just ad-lib it and be like, hey, this is totally going to be, it's going to be 12 when it's really 16 or 12, it's something. Anyway, whatever I'm saying.
And the reason it was more of a waste of a day is because you guys had this super long script that you kind of broke down into 6 pages, which
it went from 14 down to 6.
14 to 6, which took like 4 to 5 hours to break down, and I was just kind of sitting back waiting.
I apologize 12 times.
Oh, it's fine.
I've really
just no videos got edited. That's all.
Very upset. Oh, Dan.
Good morning.
Hey, Dan. So I should update on everybody why Dan is here and who Dan is. He's waving to the GoPro right now. Make a note that you waved to the GoPro. Did you already do it? Dan's very good. Dan, you should see his detailed notes on the video sets when we're shooting the video guides, because Dan works with Todd. Dan's an editor. Dan's a shooter. Dan's a, what do you call yourself?
Is that like a script?
Multitasker?
Yeah. He's the guy who gets...
supervisor?
Well, a PA?
No.
What do they call you on
He's
set?
a man of many talents.
What's your credit say in my video?
Script supervisor.
I think I'm your AD.
AD?
What's AD
That's a lot
mean?
Assistant director?
Well, you should add another D to it.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, thank you for coming in to help us out and collecting a paycheck for doing so. I let people know that when you have people work for you, generally you try to give them some money. right? Instead of just asking people to do stuff for free, which I do ask people to do certain things in trade because it benefits them as well as. But anyway, Dan is getting paid today. Sutter had his tonsils out.
He did.
He can't talk. I guess he can eat ice cream. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
You're going to never not reference that movie when we talk about ice cream.
I love ice cream. Anyway, Dan, thank you for coming in. And we wish Sutter a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I think he said like 2 weeks is when he'll be. Well, he'll be back, I think, with us next week.
2 weeks. Dan? No, you know what that is?
Another movie that
Come on,
you
you're a
reference
movie
all
reference
the time.
guy. 2 weeks. I'm trying to get to Mars. Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll just go there. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, let's get into the plug, and then we're getting started here. Almost. Rode. They came out with the, let me get this right, Stereo Video Mic X. Not just a stereo video mic, but an X.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, I saw this thing, and I'm like, what is that, a Doppler radar on top? Because it's got this big ball, and then it's got this plastic windscreen thing that looks pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
You really kind of have to see the picture over on the website at fronosPhoto.com/rawtalk-104. You could see the pictures and some of the specs from it, but what'd you think about it? Because you went and watched the video
I
just
never
like me.
actually used
No, we
it,
haven't gotten it yet. It's
but
still
I've seen
pre-order.
the preview video, the video where they explain all the specs and all that. It looks like a pretty solid XY microphone. So if you're recording stereo, you need a good stereo feed. That's going to be a great option.
And it's for the top of your DSLR. It looks like it's it's their top of the line. Look, this thing is $800.
And you can mount it anywhere. It doesn't have to just be the
Right.
top of a DSLR.
Right. One of the options was, and the video that they showed with the samples of like the guitar playing, I mean, the audio sounds pretty darn good.
Well, it's great for stuff like that, yeah.
And obviously you got to remember, just because you have a really nice microphone, if you don't know what you're doing with audio processing in post,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to turn out that well.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a very clean feed to begin with, but you'll still want to probably do something in the end as far as post goes.
I was pretty fascinated with the mini XLR. I've never seen one of those.
mini XLR?
It has like a some small XLR input.
Oh, I didn't even see that part
Yeah,
on
you
there.
didn't see it, but they're coming out with their own cables and stuff for it. But
Okay.
it's a small one that goes into a big one so that you can get a clean signal, something or other out.
And you don't have to use the windscreen, too. You can easily take it off and just use it as straight up XY if you have a very clean environment that you're shooting in, or noise-free, I should say, instead of outside. But there's a lot of stuff on there. I mean, it's also an aluminum body.
Oh, no, it's not aluminum.
Alu-mini-um.
It's aluminium.
Excuse me.
Okay? You get it right when
I
you
need
say
to have my
aluminium.
Aussie accent.
Aluminium, Dan.
But yeah, big condenser capsules for the XY mic. It has solid the suspension. It's their
It's
RAWtalk
called
Lyre.
RAWtalk Lyre.
Yeah,
Remember when we ripped on RAWtalk Lyre? We're like, what the hell is RAWtalk Lyre?
It's supposed to be like an upgraded version of it, but that'll be nice if you have any bumps or anything like that. You won't
It
have
keeps it
those
stable.
Yeah, you won't have that bump noise.
So the point here, people, is you kind of just need to look this up. Look up Stereo Video Mic X. Look at what this thing, it just looks cool. So not only does it look cool, it's probably going to sound pretty darn good, and it's going to put a dent in your wallet at $799. But of course, they do have those less expensive options that we've talked about before. But hey, maybe this thing's for you. We need to get one in the mail and get a review going.
For sure, yeah.
All right, faux show.
Show.
I'm going to save these other two things until we get into some photo news. It's time for Steven's. Hey, you know what I noticed?
What?
I was listening to Stern this morning, and he started singing.
Did he? I wonder where you get it from.
He started singing out of nowhere.
It's like your idol.
He's not my idol. I just respect the hell. I mean, obviously,
respect him
the
a
guy
lot.
is damn good at what he's built over the last 30-some years, and to be just so damn good.
But there's clearly some Stern in you
yeah, sure, why not?
when it comes to the podcast. Photo news time?
Okay.
GoPro Hero 4, it's been officially announced since our last Raw talk, literally like the day after we recorded, so
Well,
kinda
it was
bummed
like,
about that.
remember when we're sitting there in their booth?
Yeah.
And we're going through that at Photo Kina, and we're like,
So they had it probably in
no,
the
they
back
knew
somewhere.
it. They
yep.
knew it. And it's like they weren't showing it. It's like at Photo Kina made most sense. I heard somebody explain it that they said, look, we do 8 million shows a year.
Yeah.
So we're not just going to, we'll just announce it at some point.
And I guess we'll see it at Photo Plus, I'm assuming.
if they have a booth. I don't know if they
Well,
have
do you
a
plan
booth.
on getting one? of the new ones?
Well, let's talk about the specs
Okay.
and then we'll get into
So
it.
the Action Cam company, they released 3 different models this time around: the Hero 4 Silver Edition, the Black Edition, and the inexpensive low-end Hero Edition.
That's racism, buddy.
I was waiting for that. As with previous iterations, the Black Edition is the high-end version. Spec-wise, it tops out at 4K video, now finally at 30 frames per second, or 24. Also does 2.7K at 50 frames a second, and 1080p at 120 frames a second, which is great.
Boom!
Booyah! Audio capture, that also is improved. The new system...
It's 2 times better, I heard.
2 times the dynamic range, which is really, really solid. I still think I would use an external recorder when it comes to audio. I don't think I would trust the GoPro, but that's just me. Features new manual settings for both photography and videography, controls such as color, ISO, exposure, much more.
Which is what we've been waiting on
We've been
forever.
waiting for that
because
for a long
if you
time.
can lock that stuff in the camera and manually expose it for the table and not have the lights in the background be blown out, it's going to make our video look a hell of a lot better. Is that in all of them or just the top 2?
You know what? I think it's just the top 2, but I'm not sure. That might just be a firmware thing. Now, it also shoots 12 megapixel stills at a burst rate of 30 frames per second, which is really fast. The speed of the built-in Wi-Fi is apparently doubled as well, and it also now supports Bluetooth. Also features...
Wait. The Wi-Fi doubled, so now we don't have to wait 5 seconds to see what's
Now
on the thing?
2.5 seconds
No, it's
you have
2.5, not actual numbers, but just from like, I'll sit there and I'll put my head there and it starts talking. I'm like, wait, I just said that 6 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And then I see the video.
So now it'll be 3 seconds. But it also features a highlight tag feature for marking highlight moments in footage, a quick capture feature for powering up and recording with one button press.
That's
good. Really good. And auto low light features too. This one is going for an MSRP of $500, which is a lot. It's more than their normal models.
It's $499.
$499, excuse me.
It just sounds better.
Now, the Silver Edition sports a brand new touchscreen on the back. This one is different. However, it sacrifices resolution for this as it doesn't support 4K. The touchscreen will let you control the camera and review content just like an iPhone by swiping and tapping the screen. It maxes out at 2.7K at 30 frames per second, which is still plenty of resolution in my opinion.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not bad.
No. And 1080p at 60 frames and 720 at 120.
How much?
This one is going for $400.
$399. So this is free $399.
$399.
What is very interesting about this, you want to talk about the last one?
Yeah, then we have one more.
And then I'll get into...
Then we have the GoPro Hero, no numbers after it, the extremely inexpensive version.
I can be your hero, baby. I can take away your pain. I can fly away forever. You can't take my pain away.
Enrique, right?
That is Enrique.
So the extremely inexpensive
Grazie.
version,
Yeah.
for those that want this, it's pretty much just straight up 1080p video for the most part in this one. This guy has a built-in waterproof housing that cannot be removed.
That's smart, though.
It is. Now, however, you can open the back to charge the battery and built-in battery and swap out memory cards if you want to. They say it's waterproof down to 131 feet as well. Shoots 1080p at 30 frames per second and 720 at 60, so there's no 120 frames per second option. Maxes out at 5 megapixel stills at 5 frames per second burst rate. And there's also a half-second time-lapse feature as well. The cameras are all out now, and the silver and black editions are backward compatible with all GoPro accessories and mounts too, which is really smart. Because I think one of the things we brought up when we thought the GoPro Hero 4 was going to come out was that maybe they'll make it even smaller, and then you'll be screwed with accessories. So those are new cameras. Oh crap! I didn't put the price point. $130.
It's basically $1 for every foot you can go underwater.
Yes, pretty much.
So here's the thing. It's crazy that they added $100 to get to the top end, but for the filmmakers out there, for the people, the extreme sports activists, for the people that want the future right now, for $100 more, you get the 4K option. You're sacrificing now a touchscreen,
which is nice,
but it's not always very useful. It's useful to see, like for the people that want to walk around with the stick and see, you can do that with your iPhone. Like I'm surprised, did they make a stick that has like an iPhone holder that has the camera at the end yet?
I don't know, probably.
That would make sense,
yeah.
except it would be delayed anyway, but now it's quicker than a delay. So it's, if I was to buy one, which I know Allen's carries them now, so I'm going to look into it, I would not buy the silver. I would buy the top of the line.
I would too.
And the reason to buy the top of the line is it is the best quality that you are going to get right now. Why buy yesterday's technology or a lower end when you have the ability for $100 more to buy the best? Especially, I don't know what we would use it for. The silver edition is nice. I mean, I didn't realize that the 2500 frame rate, not
2500,
not 1440, but it was 1080, 1440.
Oh, 2.7.
2.5.
With 2.7K.
2.7K?
Yeah.
It's 2.5K.
They said 2.7K.
Oh, whatever that is, that's still extremely high resolution compared to what we're using.
Yeah.
4K is coming. We know it's coming. It's here. It's going to become more prevalent.
It's going to be the new standard. It pretty much is almost.
The interesting thing about the GoPros is the GoPro Hero.
Mm-hmm. That one I did not see coming.
$130. It is one of those things that says, hey, no-name China companies that try to rip us off and make a $99 to $149 wannabe GoPro, we now made our own. And we already have the name in the market, GoPro. It's going to be good. The problem is that people that buy GoPros that don't know what they're for, they just end up with hours and hours of footage
that they
don't know what to do with because they're not an editor.
Yep.
I'm not an editor. If I didn't have Todd edit the GoPro Hero 3 video that we did when I was in Aruba, I would have just had a shit ton of footage that'll be like, oh, okay. Like, yes, it does its job. But what makes GoPro is the editing. Mm-hmm. It's what makes video anything. It's the illusion that everything is amazing.
Yeah, my only thing with the GoPro Hero, I don't know if I would want it just because you only get the 60 frames per second at 720. If it had 60 at 1080, I think that would be a solid option.
But now it's one of those things that you can go on to QVC and they can be like, oh my God, everybody knows GoPro. They're the name around in the world of action sports cameras. And now, just for you, on QVC, you have the GoPro Hero. This is a wonderful camera. It comes in black. It's got a built-in case. Look, the old ones, you need to get an extra case to take it underwater. But now, you don't need to do that. You just go underwater up to 131 feet, and you're good to go. This is it. But wait, if you call now, it can be yours on FlexPay for 3 easy payments of $42.73 with our financing, which is 800%. And
pretty much.
Moving on.
Speaking of small cameras, new lens technology could bring optical zoom to even the thinnest smartphones by 2016. Tech company Dyna Optics promised that their latest tech can pack optical zoom into smartphones without adding any bulkiness to the lenses. So the new optical zoom lens design will work by using asymmetrical lenses rather than moving in and out to zoom like traditional lenses, as again most conventional optical zoom setups do. These lenses can simply slide up, down, left, right,
BA, select, start, winning!
Providing the same quality and effect than the former. So they already have prototypes available and hopes to have engineering samples for smartphone manufacturers by the first quarter of 2015.
Yeah, that is, keep going. Say one more thing.
Well, that's actually it. That's all I have.
I'm just waiting for Dan.
That's fine.
Good, it's blinking. See, we have this thing where you don't want it, when you're editing, you don't want to cut me off in between talking and you talking because it makes for a weird cut. But anyway, that's pretty interesting. I was sitting here before you talked about it. I'm like, what's not spherical or whatever lenses? And I'm like, maybe they slide in, and maybe a lens moves or something, and then that's what happens.
Yeah, I still don't really understand how they do it, but they claim that it's still going to be the same non-protruding lens.
Have you been to the eye doctors?
I have not.
Ever?
I've been there like once when I was like
Are you kidding
8.
me?
I don't go that often.
Dude, you're supposed to go to the eye doctors every year.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you have health coverage.
I do now.
That I pay for.
Yeah, as of like a month ago.
And you should you talk to Dr. Kohler.
Okay.
I'm still trying to set up the interview. For some reason, he thought it was while we were in Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. Didn't we already set it up? I thought we set it up.
Yeah, but I never told you it got canceled.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Well,
now
it didn't get canceled for that Monday we got home.
Okay.
Because he thought it was the Monday prior when we were in Poland.
Gotcha.
I don't know how he did it, but my dad just went to him yesterday. But anyway, it's good to go to the eye doctor. You could start seeing him. He's a world-renowned doctor. I was thinking, how did these things slide? And I was like, oh, that would be interesting to see. Like, they're really small in there.
Yeah.
So they would just... At the eye doctors, when they say, "Can you see this?" and they sit there and
they swipe it.
They
into
flip
next
these
lens
things, and they
next,
say, "Just think of something like that." They stack them and they come up with some algorithm.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, before you go, into the next thing, I have a correction from last week.
Okay.
Atomos Ninja Star contest that's open to the entire world.
Yeah.
I said, what, Dan? That's an Atomos that you're looking at right now. And that's why we use it, because it automatically runs on its own for infinite amount of time. They came out with something new that they didn't send us, this infinite running battery pack.
I didn't see that.
It's something that attaches to the bottom that uses the same Atomos batteries, the same Sony ones, so that and it's hot swappable. So if you're recording for a long time and one battery dies, you take it out and you replace it, you charge another one, there's already another battery there, so it continues going.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like one of those things to allow them to keep recording and recording.
I think they showed that off in the Shogun, I thought.
Oh, maybe they did. I didn't see it.
I thought they did. I don't know.
But anyway, the correction is the contest is running and it's available right now to anybody around the world. I said it ends November 31st. There is no such thing as November 31st on this calendar.
And Sutter and I just sat there. We didn't even realize
Nobody called me out except for the people that called me out on the internet. So it's November 30th. That contest ends. Get to it.
So we have users of the Nikon D750. They're reporting that nearly anyone with a Wi-Fi capable device can steal your images from the new camera. The Wi-Fi app built into the D750 automatically uses an unsecure connection to transfer images from your camera, leading into a vulnerability where nearly anyone can connect. Let me finish this real quick. So if you have Wi-Fi turned on, anyone with a smart device and the Nikon wireless mobile utility can connect to the camera and download images from the memory card without the owner's permission. Also, there's no indication from the camera that someone else is viewing your images. If someone does connect to the camera, however, only one device can connect to the camera. So if you are connected already, you're safe. For now, Nikon advises D750 owners to manually activate the security settings the Nikon wireless mobile utility to prevent
Activate the security setting?
unauthorized access.
Oh, I mean, put a password into your Wi-Fi?
Yep.
Oh, gee. Oh, my God. It's such a conspiracy.
Yeah, but the app itself, I believe, doesn't have it built in like,
Not the
automatically.
app. The camera
the
does.
utility.
The camera
does, yes.
And then the phone prompts you to type in the password.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like... Nikon rumors blew this up as being some major conspiracy. It's like fucking Ben Gate all over again from the iPhone. Now it's Wi-Fi Gate on your freaking D750.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what if I was thinking this the other day? What if it was at like Marriott and it wasn't? Do you know what Watergate was?
Yes.
Did you know it was the hotel?
Yes.
I didn't.
Because of Forrest Gump.
Well,
yeah, honestly, that's the only reason. It's because of Forrest Gump.
You learned American history watching Forrest Gump. I didn't know it as a kid. I didn't know what Watergate. I didn't know it was I'm like, what is Watergate? Did they forget to lower a gate or something in the water?
I still never really knew until history class what exactly happened, though.
Oh, and what was the name? What was the name of the informant?
The person, I forget.
Deep Throat.
Correct.
Oh,
Thank you.
Deep Throat.
We need to have.
That's All the President's Men with Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford.
All right, see?
Movies, there you go.
Well, when a guy that makes movies and you go to film school?
I graduated.
He graduated from something. It's just like anyway, I won't throw Sutter under the bus for not knowing stuff like which I just threw him under the bus.
Yes.
I stopped to talk about what?
Watergate.
And
you said the Marriott.
And the Marriott. What if it wasn't? What if they were at like Doubletree? Is it going to be Doubletree Gate? But anyway, back to the whole Nikon rumors thing. I connected with Nikon, my PR guy, and I said, "What's going on with this?" And he's like, off the record, quote, not him. I'm not quoting him or anything, but he was informed me that all you have to do is turn on the password option in the camera, and it locks it right up.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that you should automatically do if you're a normal human being that normally uses Wi-Fi.
So when I logged in there, I'm like, well, it's nice that they made us aware that this is an option that you need to do.
Yeah.
It would be nice that it said, hey, be sure to lock up your connection or anybody can access it.
Yeah.
But it's not a big freaking deal.
No, it's not a huge deal, but I still wanted to bring it up for those D750 users.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of you.
Especially because everyone else made it a big deal.
Well, that's why I don't try not to make things a big deal right now. That's why I've been thinking about this again. I think about everything. Remember a while back we thought about doing news and doing like a news site to stay up with the petapixels and f-stoppers and then I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
It doesn't interest me to have breaking scoops on whatever, because that's just playing a clickbait game. That's just playing a game where you just want to get eyes and it's for crap. I'd rather us do this once a week. It's a nice recap. And if anything does happen really, important out there, we can make a video about it.
Yeah.
But we're not sitting there making everything blah, 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 blah next.
No, I agree. There's more important things to focus on for us, at least. So drones are making it easier than ever to get that once impossible visual of sites we never thought possible. Case in point, DJI's director of aerial imaging, Eric Chang.
Eric Chang, man.
Eric Chang.
I know Eric Chang, man.
I know you do.
Formerly of Lytro.
Yes.
Eric Chang's an awesome guy.
He seems like an awesome guy.
He is an awesome guy.
I feel like I've met him before because when I watched the behind-the-scenes video with him in it, it looked like I met him before. Did we meet him at Photokina or something?
Are you saying that because he's Asian?
No, I'm not
and
saying
you
that.
think all Asians look the same?
No,
you're
putting
racist.
words in my mouth right now.
Write that down, Dan. Oh man, Steven. No, we may have met him somewhere.
I'm pretty sure I have.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and his voice sounds familiar.
He's got a really awesome speaking voice.
Yeah, so he flew a Phantom 2 Vision over a volcanic eruption in Iceland.
Oh, that was him doing it.
That was him, yeah. So now, since it literally flew on the pretty much over the volcano, the GoPro's housing began to melt. Luckily, the micro SD card had survived, and he was able to pull all the footage off.
At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. I kept thinking I can't live without you by my side. And so I spent so many nights thinking how I did you wrong, and now I wonder once sometime, and I did it, but I will survive. That's it. That's where I went from with that, Steven.
I figured, yeah. He also shot it from 1.2 miles away, the closest they were allowed to be.
Really?
Yeah, well, so they pushed it out of range several times, trusting in its fail-safe feature that returned the drone to the launch site every time, and it did. So there's footage now posted along with a behind-the-scenes video of the whole story and how they shot it. Now, what they ended up doing, apparently the officer that was there, because they said, again, 1.2 miles was the closest they can get, he said you can only drive up to 1.2 miles away, but he's like, technically, if you walk, that's not illegal. So they did end up walking much closer. That's what let them go closest to the volcano and get the shot. Now, the scary part is that the volcano wall broke the morning after, filling the spot they shot in with lava.
Was it hot?
Scary stuff. Was it hot?
Well, see, that's the thing now. With all of this urban exploring, because this isn't urban exploring, but people trying to be more extreme with what they capture.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's only a matter. I mean, what if that wall opened on them?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And hot lava oozed out like a chocolate lava cake.
It was only a couple hours later when it happened. So it's scary stuff, yeah.
Eric Chang's an awesome dude.
Very
he
awesome.
has some really good work. He does a lot of underwater stuff, and then he works with at DJI Phantom now, and he's got. I love what he's doing.
Maybe it's just his videos that I've seen from DJI. Does he do a lot of DJI's videos?
Yeah, he does all of them.
Maybe that's what I've seen then. Film Frania is asking for your help to keep their legacy alive for another 100 years. The company is back after going bankrupt in 2003. The issue is that the equipment they currently have can only produce a small amount of film, and while the rest of the equipment they need to produce more and lower cost is available, it's all stuck inside the old Frania factories that are scheduled to be demolished at the end of this year.
Where's the factory?
Italy, I think.
We should go urban exploring since it's closed down.
But just make sure it's not the day they demolish it.
Oh.
So they need help raising enough money to rescue the industrial machines. The Kickstarter goal that they're doing right now is $250,000, and they've already reached over half of that with still about 3 weeks to go. So it's very possible that they'll reach their goal. If you do pledge $35 or more, you'll get a roll of 35mm and 120 film, a sticker pack, and a snap pack. This film will also come from the first batch produced. So they're hoping to get some of those industrial machines to help speed up the process.
I love that people are like, oh my God, they're back. We need to save them. And I'm like, it's film. They're out of business for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, they were only one of
I never heard
4
of them.
companies. I never heard of them either, but apparently they were big in overseas. So
it's like, look, we watched that thing about the photojournalist shooting a roll of film again.
Yep.
That the Camera Store Canada that they did, which I thought, like you said, that it was going to go a different direction, like actually go shoot something.
Well, because he was like, we're going to go and see all these assignments that we have for the day and shoot everything.
And there was one thing.
There was one thing.
And then he did some other stuff. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, I don't miss shooting the film.
Yeah, and he was an older gentleman too, which he said he grew up with film, and he still said he chooses
I'm still trying to figure
digital.
out this allure with the film, and I honestly think it's a younger demographic of people, kids,
Because they
teenagers,
didn't know what it was
millennials
like.
that have never shot film, who have always had an infinite amount of ability to shoot digital pictures, don't know what it's like to shoot film.
Yeah.
And film was one of the most rewarding things ever to do.
Yeah.
When you go out and you shoot and then you stand in the dark room and you process the negatives, or you start to process them and you don't know what's going to happen until that 8 or 9 minutes after you rotate. You would see it at work, just seeing them come out of the machine. But just process, and then you hold it up and you're like, yes, there's images. Just that there's images. They may not be in focus, they may not be exposed, but there's something on the negatives. You did something right.
It was the worst when you would get a blank roll because they would either come in with a brand new roll or they would come in and like the film wasn't loaded right and never took one shot.
And you
it
have
was
to
like
explain it to them.
Yeah, and then they think it's like us, and it's like, no, your film is perfectly developed, but there's nothing on here.
You see that all the numbers on the
Yep, you
strip,
see
the
everything,
sprocket
and that's
holes?
how I have to
Yes,
explain to
that's-
them.
You see that it's all white? All white means that you open the back.
Well, and I could always tell because when
Wait,
the
was
film,
it all black or all white when you open the back?
What are you talking
It's all
about?
black. If you expose the roll,
Yeah,
it would be black.
It'd be black,
Right.
But they would always have like the the leading edge hanging out, and which usually means it's a new roll.
The leader.
The leader, yeah.
Oh, it's still curled
Not the leader
around?
card, yeah, but it's still curled around. And I usually say, I guarantee this is a new roll. Are you sure you want to develop it? And they're like, oh, it's definitely not a new roll. I used it, and then it's new roll, nothing on there.
Hey, old world problems.
Old world problems. So Netflix, they're looking to pay 3 Instagram VIP photographers, or what they're calling is grandmasters, to travel to movie
somebody
sets
give me some
and take
Grandmaster funk right now.
pictures. I was waiting for that. Now the
I
trip,
said hip, hop, hibbity to the hippity, hip, hop, hop. You don't stop rocking to the bang, bang boogies and up junk the boogie to the dead boogity beat. I said, what you hear is not a test, and I'm just rapping to the beat. It's just me, my friends, and all of the hoes getting to... They never called them hoes yet. They didn't call them hoes yet.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's Grandmaster Flash or Flunk anyway.
I swear, you only sing a lot when it's the episodes when like prior you didn't sing at all. Like last week, I feel like you didn't sing at all, and then this week we have to make up for it. And there's so
See
much
this note that
singing
says
and
sing more?
interruptions.
I'm just
You probably
kidding.
do have a note.
I
on there
don't
that says
have a
that.
note. We just have a lot of flying solo to get to.
Yeah. So anyway, they call them grandmasters. They're trying to get them to travel to movie sets and take pictures. The trip will be all expenses paid and will be a 2-week adventure. Basically, you'll travel across the U.S. and photograph some of the most iconic locations in entertainment. For example, like Philly Art Museum steps where Rocky ran up, or say like the Italian market in that one scene. As the official Netflix Instagrammer, you'll get $4,000 to do it. $2,000, I think, a week. And to apply, all you have to do is follow Netflix on Instagram and tag 3 of your best images with the hashtag Grandmaster. That's GRAMMASTER.
I'm going to do it.
Now, sometime between now and October 7th, so you only have a few days to actually do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Because by the time this gets released, I think it'll be the 5th.
I want to be a
You can be a Grandmaster for Netflix and get paid to travel around. It'd be pretty cool. Now we have artist Alex Stanton.
Time out.
Yes.
Look at all the notes on that paper.
It's a lot of notes.
Look at the paper. Did you see the paper?
No.
No, show him, Dan, show him the front of the paper.
Cool.
That's a lot of notes.
That's a lot of notes that nobody can see.
Right. I'm just letting you know.
Artist Alex Stanton made some incredible recreations of old film camera models out of a mixture of concrete, bronze, copper, brass, and a ton of other stuff. So recreating old Leicas, Rolleiflex cameras, Canon, Nikon SLRs, and more, the concrete lookalikes are so detailed that many believe that he just pretty much coated an actual camera body in concrete. Now what he does is makes the mold out of the actual camera body, but he said this isn't as easy as it seems. He only keeps about half of the cameras he makes since it's a long process of trial and error. He's selling the paperweights on his Etsy store now, ranging from about $35 for the smaller ones to $160 to the larger bodies, which isn't that bad for the amount of time it takes to make one of these. But really cool looking stuff. I might actually get one.
That's just a paperweight.
It's just pretty much a paperweight, literally. Yeah, I like that stuff. I don't know. For those few people that have Google Glass, there's a new app that lets your eye act like a camera and meter light everywhere you look. So the app, simply called Google Glass Light Meter, was created by David Young over at Leica Lux. He wanted a better, faster way to meter when shooting his Rolleiflex SL66. So Young's light meter glassware, as glass apps are called. Yeah, measures a scene's light values using the glass light sensor. To start the app, you utter the voice command, show measurements, and then
Show
measurements, and then it light meters everything around you.
And then you look at your penis, and it's like 2 inches.
Too small.
Warning.
Then your glasses
You should
blow
be
up.
ashamed.
Posting pictures on Instagram account now. So you provide the eye. You provide the ISO and f-stop values, and the app gives you a suggestion for what shutter speeds might be appropriate for your shot, like a normal meter. It provides 3 speeds to choose from, the perfect exposure based on calculations, and 1 stop above and below that speed. The app constantly meters as you move your head around as well.
I like it. I think
cool.
that's pretty cool.
It's interesting. It's nice because if you are shooting film and you don't want to have a light meter or anything or a separate camera app, you just do it.
Yeah, but
right
then
there
you can't shoot your photos because you got glasses on.
Yeah, but it's like see-through and translucent.
But then you can't shoot through because I like putting my eye all the way up in that hole to get pictures.
Oh, yeah, you do.
That's a good note right there. Eye all the way up in that hole.
What is that note for?
It's just funny. What does Jared get his eye up in? That hole.
Okay. So, on the subject...
We're trying to take better notes so that we can...
I don't understand how that is better notes.
I think it's funny.
Okay.
It's something that I would hashtag. Hashtag Jared's eye up in that hole.
Hashtag
Bam.
I do what I'm told.
I do what I told.
I and no disrespect, but I do know your girlfriend. And she probably rules the roost.
And it's awesome.
And it's one of the coolest girls I've ever met. And Dan has it's his girlfriend.
Maybe more soon.
I didn't want to say locked it up because I didn't know she would listen.
No.
She's not
see.
listening.
Not
We'll
yet.
bleep it. Go ahead.
So on the subject of metering, why get the perfect exposure when you're only going to ruin the film with live bacteria? A photographer named, let me get this right, Sung Hwan Oh.
Excuse me, it's
Wait.
Sung Hwang Oh.
Yes. They released a set of interesting portraits which was left with live bacteria to eat away at for months, even years for some of them. The project, it's called Impermanence, got the unusual results where the faces are literally eaten away by immersing developed medium format positive film into water and then adding in various collection of microbes. It's pretty scary and weird and interesting stuff.
Well,
It's not pee this time.
It's not
bacteria.
pee. I was just going to say it's better that it's not a girl pissing on her film.
Or they could have took it to the next level and,
Shited
popped
on it?
squat on there.
Yeah, but the other guy already took it to another level and ate the film and,
and
then
then
pooped it out. I mean, how else is he going to get it out?
That's true. And what he should have done is put live bacteria on it, then ate it, then pooped it out, then peed on it.
And then put tapeworm in.
And then, oh, God.
Because then the tapeworm would be like, hey, look at me, I'm a
Isn't this,
tapeworm.
even eating the negative, isn't that kind of like a tapeworm in your body anyway? So Epson, they announced 2 new multi-format film scanners. The outdated 8-year-old V700 and V750 scanners have finally been upgraded to 2 new models, the V800 and V850. The main difference is that the new versions are LED-based scanners, which use less energy and last longer. I mean, everything's going LEDs these days. The plastic film holders have been upgraded to more robust iterations too. Max scanning resolution for both models is 6400 by 9600 DPI for film and 4800 by 9600 DPI for prints. Now, the main difference between the 2 models, other than price, is that the V850 comes with the more advanced Silver Fast SE Plus 8 software, whatever that is.
Oh my God. The Silver Fast software.
Oh my God. So a high-pass optics coating and a free fluid mount scanning accessory that helps keep film flat during scanning. Coming out sometime this month, the V800 will cost you about $894, and the V850 will be roughly $1,187.
So basically the point of this is that it scans old film that you took, not most likely the new film, because it's rescanning old negatives. I mean, they've done drum scans for years of the old stuff. The historical things,
Yeah.
so that they could preserve them.
Well, this could still be used for personal use.
Oh, of course it could be used for. It's not that expensive.
No, it's really a pretty affordable option.
I still want to go through my old negatives and do a
Rescan them?
Well, what would be cool is to scan the negative sheets themselves.
Yeah, you like the
because they're
contact sheets,
clear,
right?
and scan like a contact sheet and then reverse it.
Yeah.
and then publish that for everybody to see all of the shitty photos that I had when I shot film. Mm-hmm. Just because I'll share that with
No, that
people.
would be pretty cool. You should get one of these. They're really not.
We need to make well, I just got a connection with Epson.
There you go.
Finally. We'll be talking with them at Photo Plus.
They had a pretty big booth at Photokina, too.
Yeah, they did, and they printed T-shirt. They had a T-shirt printer.
They have like
but
every type of printer. It's weird.
we're trying to get a big-ass printer from them.
Cool.
We're trying to get something similar to what the Canon Pixma Pro 10 was like in the Epson side, and then one a little higher up. They used to have the 3800, and now they've got the 4000, I believe.
Do you know what size print that does?
4000, I believe, does 24 by.
Nice.
The
That's
roll.
awesome. Unlimited. So a new wrist mounting flying drone concept called the Nixie is in the process of being built. The project was created as part of Intel's Make It Wearable challenge. As if your camera watch has propellers, basically, the Nixie could detach from your wrist and fly a few feet away and take a picture or video, then return to the wrist. It's pretty much something straight out like a James Bond movie.
Or if you're a moil, it can perform the snippety snip for you.
You could do that as well. Now, if Team Nixie wins the challenge and receives the grand prize of $500,000, then they'll be able to pull it off and make it a reality and market this thing. Now, the winning team will be announced on November 3rd. The video on this thing is really interesting. They already have a concept kind of proof model going on, but it'd be pretty cool to see if this thing come to life. No comments, huh, on that one? I love that story. And finally, a new smartphone app called Authenpic wants you to turn your phone into a film camera. Mimicking the film process of sending out your film to get developed, the app limits users to 24 pictures which they cannot see or edit until they're mailed the final physical images within a week. The idea behind this is that instead of being on your phone and at, say a gathering or social events, you'll only get one shot and that's it. No retakes, no editing, no checking for likes.
Better
thinking
lose yourself
of
in the
hashtags.
moment. You better own it. You never ever had to go one shot. Better own it. Prove it in the moment with 8 Mile.
Yes. So for a $10 pledge, you receive the app before it goes public and also receive your first roll of film for free. Roll of film.
Wait, what?
Roll of film, as in, you get...
I missed the air quotes for anybody listening at home.
Yeah, you pretty much get them printed for free. So if Authenpic becomes a reality, the pricing will be $10 for each roll you shoot and have developed. So basically for the pictures and the developing, the app itself will be free. I believe they're doing this Kickstarter to actually buy the processor and the developer and all that kind of stuff.
I will not be backing that project.
As of right now, the company only received $1,300 of their $20,000 goal with only a week to go. So I don't think it's going to...
It's just not a good idea.
Yes.
There's a reason why we can be selective photographers. And I'd rather see that you take 24 pictures and then you're like, oh, I want to print 1 or 2. Because I remember I never had my whole rolls of film developed because it cost X amount of dollars to have your negatives processed and then all of them printed. What I would do is go through with a loop, L-O-U-P-E, because Todd spelled loop wrong in the video guide. He has to go back and make the correction. He spelled it L-O-O-P. That's L-O-O-P. It's not how it's spelled. I would go in and then I'd put a dot on this one, a dot on this one, above it on the slide, the negative thing.
Your version of starring it?
Yeah. And then have them go and print those.
Yeah.
I would be selective because it cost me less money.
So you would just develop the negatives?
I would just develop the negatives and then go through and have it printed. I probably wouldn't even have them. I used to have them cut in 6s instead of 5s. Or near the end, it was just scan everything and then I'd make prints from there if I needed.
And the standard places even cut it in like 4s.
Yeah.
Like your Walmart.
What'd I say, 5?
You said 5, yeah.
Yeah, I did them in 5s.
Yeah.
5s was the professional way to do it. 5s was the
professional version, the film strips and contact sheets and stuff. I used to just get them scanned and put to a CD or to a flash drive.
I shot before that existed.
Yeah. But that's it for photo news.
All right, let's get into, did you watch the new season of Shark Tank that started?
I did not. You told me to, and I did not yet.
The first episode was better. It was 2 episodes.
There's 2 so far?
Well, it was 2 episodes. They did 2 hours in one day.
When does it air again?
Fridays at 8.
Fridays at 8
or
okay.
9. Just set it.
Yeah, I don't have a DVR though.
How do you guys not have a DVR?
I don't know. I don't watch TV that often.
But this is Shark Tank.
I don't have a DVR.
You can learn from Shark Tank.
I don't have a DVR.
Speaking of learning from Shark Tank, on October 18th at Allen's Camera, it's the second annual Allen's Nikon-a-Palooza that has nothing to do with Shark Tank, but it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and there will be a live recording of RAWtalk, a.k.a. we call it mobile RAWtalk, just this time in Allen's parking lot, rain or shine. There will be a big-ass tent. We will be filming no matter what. We will be doing a show there. So the show starts at 10:30 and goes until noon. We will have a live spinning of the Wheel of Fro. Remind me to bring the wheel. For somebody that is there in person. But this is Allen's Nikon-a-Palooza. The cool thing they have coming this year, sensor cleaning from Nikon NPS. So there's only a certain number that can get done because it does take some time. So the first people there, make sure you get your cameras in to get cleaned. It's going to be first come, first serve. There will be a taco trucking. When you get hungry, you can eat a taco or 2. Same truck we had last year. There's trade-in options. So if you're trading in anything, I don't believe it just has to be Nikon. There's going to be higher trade-in values towards purchases in the future. And what else do I have here? The huge trade-ins. Oh, I almost forgot. They're going to give away an SLR, a DSLR again.
Do we know what yet?
If I had to guess, it's probably going to be a DX camera.
Okay.
But it's not going to be a low end.
Or something?
Possibly Alan's giving it away.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with the giveaway.
Gotcha.
It's Alan's giveaway, and he's doing it. It's going to be a DSLR. That's going to happen. It's Alan's Nikon A Palooza. Gear of the week or no? Gear of the week is after flying solo.
Yes. Well, we can do it whenever. We switch it up a lot, but
Let's do it after flying solo.
Okay.
Because at some point I'm going to bring in the Wheel of Fro.
Gotcha.
Because I have to pick a question.
okay.
All right, so here we go with flying solo.
Do you have a lot of questions this week?
22.
Cool.
I'm going to make it quick.
Okay.
And by quick, I mean take a while. Amber Jacobs, not a question, but thanks for answering my question a few weeks back. So I believe the question that she had a few weeks back was work was having her shoot some things, then they weren't paying her any extra, but it was taking her time to do it, and they wouldn't pay for gear.
I remember that.
So my suggestion was just say, hey, you can pay me a little bit more, or why don't you buy some gear and whatever, figure something out. So it says, put my foot in the door. And they're opting to buy new equipment for at work.
Nice.
Although it's a Canon, because that's what my boss shoots with, at least it beats lugging in my personal equipment.
Nothing's wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. So that's great.
Yeah.
She got it done because she said, hey, you got to stand up for yourself. If you're at work, if you're doing a job and you say that you're a photographer, and then they start having you do all of these photo shoots that they're not paying for, at some point you have to say, you know what, I thank you for this opportunity, but it's taking away from my other work. I would love to continue to do this, but you're going to have to compensate me for it because it's extra work that I'm doing, and it benefits you. Kathy Dodwell Wilson. You said your mom was the photographer in the family. How did she encourage your interest in photography? If she was still here, how do you think she would be interacting with you and your business? She encouraged anything that we did, anything. And she encouraged anybody that she taught because she was a teacher. She was their major source of encouragement.
What'd she teach?
It was Montessori school.
Okay.
You know, kids.
Yeah.
And Montessori is a great way of learning, hands-on. If anybody knows what Montessori school is, I went to Montessori school.
I don't really know what it is.
It's Mary Montessori started this different type of school that was meant to be fun, hands-on, learning without knowing you're really learning.
Okay.
So they were like games that we're learning.
Gotcha.
For instance, there were these, counting these bead ropes. All right. And there were ones that had 5 beads. There were ones that had 10 beads. And we're talking small ones. Then they had ones that went to 100. So every 10 you would count. You would touch it with this stick, and then you'd put a marker there. And then you would count another 10. And then they're like, you got to 100. So it taught you that way.
Did you go to one of these schools?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did until I went to first grade is when I went to a regular school.
Okay.
Montessori school does go up to, I believe, 6th grade. It does get very expensive. Maybe it goes even further now.
So you did like kindergarten there.
It was pre-K and then full day, but they don't really call it kindergarten because kindergarten's more like daycare.
Yeah.
This wasn't
say
daycare.
I would say kindergarten I learned.
Yeah. Got it. But it's different. It's not it. So the classrooms are all laid out totally different. You've got the circle on the floor with the tape. You got all these bells. So there's music, there's art. Then you're like, hey, can I grade a carrot? They teach you how to grade a carrot. So they teach you to do things on your own.
Teach you how to grade a carrot?
Yeah, but there's multiple things in education that go into this. It's not a knife.
No,
it's a grader.
Yeah.
So they're like, they give you the responsibility. They give you the rope to hang yourself with, basically. It's like, hey, you ask the teacher, at the time, Miss Shannon, she's now Helen Hines. She's a really nice lady. She's like, hey, can I go cut a carrot? So you go into, she's like, okay, go to the refrigerator. So that's the task. You go to the refrigerator, you get the carrot. Usually they're broken in half. And then you go and you grate it into this towel, because then you have to throw out the gratings. You have to then wash everything when you're done. But then you also had to cut the carrot into X amount of pieces, a certain size, so that you could walk around and give everybody a piece.
So this is where your obsession with carrots came from.
I love carrots.
This is definitely where it started.
Probably. But does that make sense, how you're learning?
Does, yeah.
They're like, give everybody 2.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, but it teaches you to talk to...
Subconsciously, you're learning everything.
You're talking to people.
Yeah.
It's like... I can give you 2. Would
skills.
You like one? Hi. Would you like... And then cleaning up and then returning everything back. So it's an awesome way to learn. Cool. Anyway, that's what my mom did. So she would have encouraged anything that I did. The question here is, if she was still here, how do you think she would be interacting with your business? She'd be interacting with my business very well. But if in all honesty, I'll come back to this part. I don't know that if she didn't die, whether I would be sitting here or not. I don't know if that was a kick in the ass I needed to grow or to change. It's a weird thing to say. Mm-hmm. It is. It's totally a weird thing to say because I don't know that if she was still here, would I still be acting the same way that I was acting towards her when she was alive, which is, more nonchalant than, hey, why don't you, I sit here and I go to shows or I travel to Seattle. I'd be like, my mom could help me and assist.
Not as active, yeah.
Right. I could be like, why don't you come to Seattle with us? Mm-hmm. Or why don't you go to freaking Auschwitz with us and, tour Poland because you've never done that and just help, stuff like that. Who knows if I would have ever gotten there? Maybe I would have grown up. Maybe I wouldn't have. But she would have been very happy with what I've done.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I went into dildo salesman, she would have been happy too.
Where did that come from?
She used to make erotic chocolate.
Okay.
And if she was still living...
She wanted you to be a dildo salesman?
She would have been happy even if I was a dildo salesman.
Okay.
Because then I'm like a salesman. It's like a family trait.
Yeah, okay.
Just selling dildos. But anyway, I say that because she made erotic chocolate. My mom made erotic chocolate. All right? You got that note? That's a good one. She would make big chocolate, like penises. Black. All right? Dark chocolate. And I would give them to teachers at school.
What?
Yeah.
That's because that's not weird or anything.
No, this was in college.
Okay.
All right? And then she'd make dicks on a stick. Then she'd make boobs, both black, both white, with pink areolas. I know Dan would have liked this. You would have look, Dan. Dan, they can't see you shaking your head.
He's like totally serious. Like,
no, Dan loves that stuff.
And I love chocolate, so
nothing like a dick on a stick. And I digress. Back into the show. For anybody, earmuffs.
Yeah, earmuffs.
2 minutes ago. Forest Senator, getting my business cards going, should I have a simple basic card as well as the cool leave back cards or leave behind cards like the plastic printer ones for instance, or stick to one or the other? This is still one of those interesting things. I haven't been a fan of business cards for a long time because they're so generic and boring. And if I want to get somebody's information, I call them on the phone, right? I take their number. I make sure that they get my email or thing right then and there when we have a conversation. But you've seen this now. When you hand somebody your card, what's the reaction?
These cards are really cool, blah, blah, blah. And then they remember it. They keep that card, especially because we had the viewfinder cards. It's different.
It's doing something that's different. Doesn't have to be plastic printers. Doesn't have to cost you $1.50 or $2 each. Just something unique. And unique doesn't mean a Moo card that is miniature that's going to get smushed up in my pocket because it's not the normal business card size. Sutter has an interesting card
I love
that he
Sutter's cards.
Used a laser cutter on wood to make these. You're not going to throw them out.
Super unique.
Because it's unique and you're going to remember it. Jake Snyder, does the Black Rabbit connector ever get in the way when you try to shoot in vertical orientation? Does it feel awkward? It depends how tight you have the strap. When you go vertical, you just have to get used to swinging it out and turning your wrist vertically, and it really doesn't get in the way anymore.
It took me some time in the beginning for sure, but once you get it down, it doesn't bother me.
Right. It's not bad at all. Austin K. Shuey, when are you going to type an About Me page on jaredpolin.com. Also, does Stephen Eckert have his website made yet?
Oh, my God.
I don't give him any time anyway.
No.
It's not that I don't give him time.
Yeah.
It's
not like, oh, here, take this day off to make your website. It's, no, edit these videos and try and find time.
Basically. I don't have an About Me page on there because I don't have an About Me page on there.
You should just copy the one you have on
photosfoto.com. I hate the one I have. I think I may have changed it because I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just too generic. I want to write it myself now and be like, hi, my name's Jared Polin, a.k.a. Fro from FronosPhoto.com.
Yeah, I don't know what I would write
This
about
is what
myself.
I do. This is what I like to do. I love telling stories and photos. That, instead of an About Me page, I need to get us to film that EPK with Todd of me. Speaking of EPKs, if you're interested in the Fronos Photo Beginner Guide to Getting Out of Auto, that is the wrong guide. Let you know that the Fronos Photo Guide to DSLR Video has an EPK in it.
It does.
What EPK means, it's like a interview, electronic press kit. It's say it was a band. You would do an interview with the band. You would have live video of the band. You'd have behind the scenes video of the band. You'd have the other interview, and you chop it together into a nice 3-minute, 4-minute, whatever, 5-minute piece. That's an electronic press kit. We show you step by step how to do that.
It's like an advanced About Me page / business card.
But it's visual and it's good.
Way better.
Way better. All right, I'm trying to turn the page, and I'm not going to start singing Metallica. Marcos Harston found an opportunity to photograph for a hockey team. There is no pay. They require you have your own camera and lenses and ask you to be present for at least 90% of the games.
90%.
Half of which I imagine will be in different cities. How much is too much for someone to ask for you in photography position when they are not paying you? He said this on Twitter, and then I had him say it on Facebook, and it was much longer than this. I don't know that they expect you to be there for 90% of all the games,
That's
maybe 90% of the home games. Look, if they're not paying you anything, and that's overkill.
Oh, yeah.
You just say, look, you need to pay for gas, you need to pay for something, you need to give me something out of it, give me a plug on the PA announcement. You know, hey, you looking for photography? Look for that guy waving in the corner right now. He's a guy that you should talk to because he's really good.
Giant afro.
But that's what you need to do. Trade them. Be like, yeah, I'd love to do this, but fuck, that's going to cost me more money than it's worth.
I mean, how many games are in a normal season?
If it's a pro season, NHL is 82 games plus playoffs, and that means 41 home games.
So what about like a local league, would you say?
It's probably about the same.
I mean, we're probably looking at 70 games. That's
There's
ridiculous.
no way they could expect him to travel.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I would do is I'd be like, oh, I'll do X amount of games. I'd love to do more. Tell me which ones are important, so on and so forth. But I need to get trade in this. If you're not paying me and I'm using my own gear, it's wear and tear. What can you do for me?
Yeah.
Because if I was doing this, I would be charging you X per game. So why don't you give me X amount in trade, like a print in your publication, an ad in your publication, a shout out on the speed. Let me sponsor the Sin Bin. The Sin Bin is sponsored by Marcos Harston found. Oh, he found an opportunity. His name isn't Marcus Harston found. His name is Marcus Harston. Sorry, and it's Marcos Harston.
Don't butcher his name or anything.
Be like, you know, the penalty box. This penalty is brought to you by Marcus Harston Photography. Anyway, that's what I have to say. Joe Myrick, would you rather date a girl who knows photography already or one who wants to learn? Do you think it would become competitive, or would it just make you pull the fro out trying to explain things? Oh, that's what he meant by that. So I've done this before. It's very hard to date a photographer if their work sucks.
Well, I don't think it'd be that hard. Someone like you who gives their opinion about everything, yes.
I can't bite my tongue.
Even if it's your girlfriend?
No, because I bite something else.
Okay.
I'd have to put it in my mouth. No, I'm not singing that song, Dan. Is it time to reset these yet?
Yeah.
All right.
Let him do his job.
I know. I just don't want to. Look, it's very hard for me to not give my opinion.
I know.
Especially if you call yourself a professional. Ex-girlfriend, photographer now.
Really?
Yeah,
Wait,
she's
the one
shooting.
that I knew?
No,
I was
not
gonna
her.
say.
No, Taylor, going all the way back. I've been helping her.
Cool.
Because she's taken a nice approach and her things have gotten better. Plus, she's watched a lot of. She's seen my photos throughout the years.
Yeah.
So she's kind of knows what to look for because mine are good, in my opinion. I rather have a girl that is interested and takes interest, so that. I have no life outside of this. So if I could incorporate that into my personal life too, I can hey, why don't we travel? It's things that couples can do together, and I can teach you, and you're like, oh, you're doing a great job. Because when somebody's just starting, it's like, nice, you're doing great. I see what you did there. That's awesome. You can try doing this.
True, yeah.
So I rather have a girl that doesn't know but has an interest in learning, and I'm actually interested in teaching. And then I'd put her in a video. No, I wouldn't. Maybe I would.
You would.
Gordon Murphy Steven. What's your favorite? Oh, his last name. His last name's not Steven.
I knew what you meant.
Gordon Murphy Steven. What's your favorite beer / beers? Do you have a default beer and a favorite pricey 6-pack? ? Always grab PBR if I can't make up my mind. My favorite sixer is definitely a New Glarus Spotted Cow. Thanks so much to the both of you, and Sutter, keep up the good work. I have to go pee while you answer this question.
Okay. So my favorite beer, I would say my go-to beer would be Founders All Day IPA. And the reason I like that is because I like IPAs. I like bitter beer. The big thing about that is it's only like 120 calories. It's kind of like a light beer, but it's not. It's still really bitter. It tastes like it's like a 6-7%er, but it's only 4.6 7. So again, it's kind of like a light beer, but a really good tasting light beer. They call it Founders All Day IPA because you can literally drink it and binge on it almost all day without getting hammered or anything like that. I also really like Dogfish 60-minute Yards Pale Ale, Yards IPA. That's a Philly brewery, so it might just be only regional for us. There's a whole bunch of other beers out there, but I would say Founders is probably my go-to brand, and Dogfish is up there too. What? You're coming?
No, I'm coming back.
All right. Jared is coming back. But yeah, they are my go-to beers for the most part. And Jared doesn't drink beer. He's just a hard alcohol kind of guy, but you rarely drink.
Bullet bourbon, rarely drink. If I'm going to drink, I'll drink Bullet bourbon straight, and then I feel good.
Yeah, and I try not to, I'm not like an alcoholic or anything. I only drink beers mainly on the weekend, if that. I try to, especially watching my figure now, not trying to drink too many heavy beers.
Question, Adam Peel. Is Jared Polin, that's me, a better photographer or businessman?
Interesting.
It's a really good question, and I've made a note here, and it says, I wasn't always good at business prior. Prior businesses have failed, and here's why. So in prior businesses, because I failed at certain things, I relied too heavily on the other people that I was working with, and they were more like partnerships, and I worked my ass off, and I felt that the others weren't working their ass off in some cases. And then in other cases, I felt like I was waiting for the other person to take me along for the ride. Like they were so much better, they were going to be the successful one, and then I'd ride the coattails. Bad mentality to have. Of course you're going to fail. If you're only looking for somebody else to be successful off of somebody else's work to take you along, that's a bad place to be. Like that was a bad place. And I finally got out of that stuff, and I got into a mentality where it's like, I'm going to focus on being successful myself. Making myself a success. I love business. I love branding and marketing. I love photography. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for photography. I love shooting things that interest me. That I don't not like this stuff. What are you doing? What are you looking? Thinking? Dan's thinking. So I think they go hand in hand. I'm not better at one or the other. I think that they work very well together. I love business. I love business.
I think you might like business more.
But it has to be around
opinion.
Creating. If I am creating, I'll tell you this much. Whenever I had weird, odd jobs or looked for a job for something, this is going back 10 years, 15 years, it was like, how can I incorporate photography into this? How can I incorporate some marketing or branding ideas into this, but around photography? Everything was around photography for me. And it still is. But if it was like business, I love marketing, love branding, love thinking, love coming up with ideas. That's what I love. I don't know. Maybe I'm better at that now, business, but I still think I'm pretty good at photography. Terrence Moody, who takes more time on hair before hitting the record button, Jared or Steven Eckert? I know.
Well, my hair's already done when I get here. So
yeah, but you check it like 17 times.
I don't check it.
Yeah, you do.
I get really oily. So I usually just wipe my forehead before we start, and that's it.
Steven takes longer.
I don't take long.
William George Cook. Yeah, his last name's Cook.
There you go.
How do you get over missing a big shot? Or worse, let's say you really messed up for a client. How do you rectify it? So
tough.
So how about me messing, not really messing that shot up too bad? You know, the slight focus.
Oh, yeah.
But how about me that whole night and the rest of the trip?
About that.
But I got over it, right?
You did eventually, but it took like 3 days.
I know.
Every time, you'd be like, okay, I'm done talking about it. And then like 20 minutes later, man, I wish I didn't mess up that shot. Blah, blah, blah.
I know. Dan's going to run out of paper over there.
He is.
He's taking so many notes. So basically, you get over it. Yep. What are you going to do? Worry about it forever? Now, there's a guy who did worry about it forever, and I think he ended up killing himself.
What shot?
Lee Harvey Oswald getting shot.
Oh, really?
There were 2 photographers there.
Only one of them
There were
got
more
it.
than 2 photographers there, but the one that got the shot of Lee Harvey Oswald getting shot just as it happened, as Jack Ruby reached out, that won a Pulitzer. The other guys was a split second early and a split second late, and it just wasn't the shot. And he never, I guess, got over the fact that he didn't get it.
And he killed himself.
I don't know if he killed himself. We have to look that up.
Oh.
I just know that he never got over it. He may have killed himself. Miroslav Dekov, photography. He's Russian. Why do you still think mirrorless cameras are lower end and are not used by pro photographers? Taking into consideration that some people are replacing their DSLR kits, example, Zach Arias, David Hobby, and all the pros that talk on Fujifilm's booth at Photokina, showing amazing images taken with their Fujis. Of course, they're going to show amazing images taken with their Fujis. It's the Fuji booth. One of them, Tomas' Lazar. Did we meet him? Which guy did we meet?
I don't know.
Even showed a collection of photos taken with a Fuji XQ1 point and shoot, having stunning colors, as if they were shot on film. It's like, of course, that's what they're going to show. They're going to show the best of the best of the best work. For my workflow, for what I like to shoot, I am not a fan of the Micro Four Thirds type of cameras. That doesn't mean that a Fuji X100T wouldn't be an interesting camera to take around and shoot with. I said I bought one in the past and I returned it a week later because there were things that I didn't like about it that may be better in the new camera. It's just a different way of thinking. I am more comfortable grabbing any Nikon that you put in my hand with the lenses that I want to shoot with and going out and shooting with it because I'm comfortable with it. I know where everything is and how it's going to work. I also think the quality is going to be better coming from that full frame camera. For me, for what I shoot.
Yeah, to each his own. I mean, put any Canon camera in my hand, and I obviously prefer that brand over Nikon, but everyone's different. Some people love mirrorless, some people love Nikon, some people love Canon, some people like DSLRs, Leicas, whatever. It's all opinion-based for the most part.
I still have to pick a wheel of fro.
But I would like to get my hands on a Sony A7S. I wouldn't mind shooting a mirrorless.
Okay. Richard Dukeshire. We all know you shoot RAW. But is there any advantages to shooting JPEG, like Zach Arias does? Well, let's clear this up. Zach Arias shoots RAW when it comes to shooting his medium format cameras and shooting most pro gigs. I would think
when he's on jobs,
that with his Fuji X100T that he says that he's shooting a lot of JPEG with and that classic chrome thing, that if it came to a job situation, he is absolutely going to shoot RAW plus JPEG.
I think he only shoots JPEG too when he's using that printer on the go.
I don't think that was it. No,
printer?
he's using JPEG all the time, even in Cuba.
Because I was going to say, because it makes sense because it's already processed and you just print it out right there.
But you can shoot RAW plus JPEG. I don't know why you wouldn't do both.
That's what I would do to be safe.
My opinion, still going to do both.
Yeah.
Jason Williamson Deliverables. It's not his last name. Deliverables. To use a third-party website for proofing and print ordering, take print orders yourself and fulfill yourself, partner with a local lab by giving the client a low-res proof disk, or shoot and burn. I'm not a fan of shoot and burn, but I'm torn between the other three options. Well, what I loved about weddings that you just shot and burned or just delivered is that you got paid X, you handed over the files, and you went away. You got paid. You left. In the old days, it was you made a lot of more money on the back end. I rather give people all of the files and go print on their own. Or the other options are you could upload to a website and allow the fulfillment to happen, whichever lab it ends up being, and let people pick options and make them affordable so people could buy. I would do that and give them a disc. I wouldn't do the partner with a local lab anymore type of thing. I would just do like... you got that Zenfolio, you have that Smug Mug, which integrates with Squarespace, by the way, and have people be able to buy from
client logins and all that kind of stuff too.
Yep. Danny Newsom, what standard of fitness do you think you need to be a full-time photographer? Should I be worried about booking a photographer for a big job that is outdoors, on the move, if he's out of shape? I'll say he or she is out of shape. In parentheses, fat. Well,
I like how I had to put fat in parentheses.
I mean, it's like anything. If they can do the job, if a person can do the job, then hire them.
Yeah.
If you have worries that somebody's fitness level isn't capable of hiking up that 8,000-foot mountain because they may be overweight, then that may not be the right choice of a photographer for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely all depends on the location.
Dan, have you noticed this? On film sets, are there like big people running around?
Not generally, especially on the lower end indie stuff because you're doing a lot more multitasking. You don't have time to eat.
Well, and then when you do eat, you're eating terribly poorly, though, except on our sets.
Yes, we're not normally getting sushi boxes for lunch like on the Jared Polin sets.
Well, that's true. Good food on set, because we know that if I don't eat well or eat,
somebody's not happy.
I'm not going to be happy. And we're talking pizza. I love good pizza, not on a shoot day, because I will crash and burn. Mm-hmm. But thank you. But generally speaking, you don't really see that stuff.
I've learned that at Creative Live.
I didn't crash and burn at Creative Live.
Yeah, but the food they got you weren't in the best mood.
Well, all right, fine. You want to talk about this?
And we've talked about it. We don't have to talk about it again.
I will talk about it again. All I asked for was grilled chicken every day. Not grilled chicken smothered in something. Not Thai food where they don't even have chicken.
Yeah, that was I don't know why they did that, of all places.
I stayed calm. I just walked out.
I don't think that's staying calm.
That was how I stayed calm and not blew up on him, because he was upset because he's like, I didn't do it.
For you to get upset.
He's like, I didn't. He's like, I passed all the information along.
No, he definitely did his job, his end of the bargain.
Okay. Anastasia K. Poulos, Poulos. What are some things to consider about rebranding? This is something I've been thinking about for the past month, and I want to make sure that all my bases are in order before I start taking action. I mean, if you don't have a huge brand to begin with, just rebrand. Come up with something. Just make sure that you have all the logos ready. Make sure you have the website ready. Make sure you have your brand in order, and just go for it. And let people know. I mean, you got to have a reason for rebranding, so just go for it. That's all I got. Peter Holman. I print images out to a Canon Pixma Pro 10, purchased on the back of your review, through Lightroom, which converts the images to TIFF. When providing high-res photos to clients for personal prints, either at home or a pro lab, should I provide TIFFs or JPEG? Or JPEG sufficient? JPEGs. Just give them the JPEGs. Let them print them. Michael Scott Brulo, please explain the traffic lights. Somebody offered to trade me traffic lights for a print. So,
is that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was a trade deal.
Yeah,
I thought you
he's
just
like,
wanted traffic lights.
Nah, my buddy was like, hey, and the guy's name's Chevy.
What print did you give him?
He wanted a metal print of Brent Smith of Shinedown, the one on the orange background with his hands.
I remember, yeah.
So he's like, I'll trade you these 2 lights. I was like, okay.
Well, you technically have 3 lights.
Well, I got to give the other one back to Walter.
Oh, okay.
That's Walt. He stole that off a street pole back when he was 15.
So you got that one illegally.
Yeah, that was Walt for you, back when he was 15. Nice. Somebody asked, is it about Mr. Rogers? No, but I recently realized that Mr. Rogers had a street light in his room.
I didn't realize that.
In his kitchen.
That's funny.
Well, I did as a kid. You realized it. Maybe subconsciously.
I forgot.
I was like, Mr. Rogers did it, so why can't I? Won't you be my neighbor? And he always sang.
Yeah.
He sang.
He did.
I'm like Mr. Rogers.
He had a slightly more pleasing voice, though, in my opinion.
How did the song go?
I don't know.
How'd the song go, Dan?
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, and won't you be my friend?
That was close enough.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood, a beautiful day in my neighborhood. Beautiful, won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Mr. McFeely is the postman. He likes to feel up little boys, allegedly. And that's not how the song goes. Do you know the story behind Mr. Rogers, though? How he was abused as a kid?
No.
He was locked in the closet, not allowed out, no food. He was abused by it was either his parents, or I don't think it was his grandparents. It was his parents. So he made it his life goal to protect the kids and to educate, because he lost his childhood like that. So there's a whole long thing about it. And what really pissed me off back in the day when he was alive, there was a school he was going to go speak at, a college graduation, and they were like complaining that Mr. Rogers was too childish. But then, if anybody in the Philadelphia area knows about Mumia Abu Jamal, a cop killer caught red-handed back in the 80s, who killed this guy Faulkner, a cop, a school had him send a tape in of his of a speech to give at commencement.
Wow.
If there was ever a thing to boo, it's a freaking cop killer like him at a that is so disrespectful to anybody and to the family of the person that he killed, to do that. And Mr. Rogers, and people gave shit to the school for having Mr. Rogers come in.
This is the same school?
No, it was probably a different school, but
Okay.
it's just in general. It just would upset me.
Wow.
Nicholas Ryan Watts, do you randomly sing or spurt out movie quotes when you're on a date? And have you ever sniff or like tested your date? I don't know what like tested is.
I don't either.
Have I ever sniffed? Well, yeah, obviously. Do you randomly sing? Yeah, when early dates, no, I hold it back. But when they get to know me,
they get to know the real Jared.
then they get to
Polin.
know me, and then it's like, and then I say something.
Because you do sing even when it's not on the podcast. You do randomly spurt out that stuff. But I don't think that really started until we started the singing part on the podcast.
Right. Bill Kimmerly, what is Steven's feedback on the computer monitor that he recently started using?
I love it. And it's funny because I use my second monitor, my original monitor, as I just have that on the side, like to run Spotify or maybe the Lightroom library or something like that. But the difference between the quality is just amazing. And it's nice to have that kind of resolution too.
David Bryson, after 4 years of listening to Jarrod, you think you would know how to spell my name. Jared after 4 years.
Did he put Jarrod?
No, Jarod, J-Rod.
Okay.
It's J-Red. Okay? I have learned so much, except for how to spell your name. How do you balance your personal life with your business? I have a family, and my photography business began to make up 27 hours a day with editing and clients. Well, there's no 27 hours in the day. How do you mix personal with business? It's a hard thing to do. For me, a lot of everything that I do is related to business.
Because I don't think you've mastered that yet.
No, and it's also hard to go around and find the separation. When you're a business owner and you work for yourself, you never turn it off. It's very hard to say, oh, I'm just going to go away for a week and everything will be fine, if you don't plan ahead or take some time throughout the day to do it. So I'm always constantly thinking what's going on. Or it's like a Tuesday night and everybody with a day job is going home to go to sleep, and you're like, I want to go out and hang out with people, but nobody's around. So Dan just crossed the line. You just crossed the line, buddy. You just broke the line. It's all right.
He said, sorry.
You didn't say crossing. Well, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying. I'm trying to find that personal thing. I think a girlfriend would maybe help. I'm working on it. It would give me a way to... Here's the... How do I keep this not too sniff-testy, dirty visual? You know that if after you sleep with a girl, that the first thing you want to do is turn around and check your email for your business work, because you know that the girl isn't for you?
No, I don't know. I feel like you would still do it regardless of who it was.
Only when she went to the bathroom. If there's... Here's how you know it's working. Is if you're with a girl and you can leave your phone at home because the only person you care about being with is her and nobody else that could call or text you matters, that means you've got something good.
Okay, that will never happen in your world.
It happened once.
You actually left your phone at home.
I would
Is
leave
this
it in the...
prior to phronosphoto.com?
It was
bet you
close.
It was. Yeah, think about that now. I don't think you would do that.
Yeah, it was prior. No, if there was a girl, and we're talking about going out for the night.
I would love... Oh, I thought you meant like... You've made it sound like it was going to be for good, like you just leave your phone at home all the time.
No, I just meant when you're with somebody.
So just one
It's like I
time.
accidentally left my phone in the car, and I was with her as we were walking to a friend's house. I'm like, oh, I left my phone in the car.
Okay.
And she's like, do you want to go get it? I'm like, honestly, no.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because, and I quote, there's nobody else that could call me or text me that I would want to be with right now.
Oh.
That was very good, right?
Oh, it was good.
And she broke my heart. Fucking bitch. Not really. She's a bitch. No, she's we talk still.
Yeah.
I have to go through here and pick the wheel of fro. Can you put the wheel on the table, please, Dan? Was there any question that stood out that you think we should give?
Oh God. I don't even know. I don't know.
I mean, was your beer question good?
Yeah. I mean,
It's not a good one though to give to a spin.
I don't know
though.
if I would give it to that.
How about, is Jared a better photographer or businessman? Not really. Don't like that question as much. I mean, I like the question. I'm going to give it to Kathleen Dodwell Wilson. She's the one who asked about my mother.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So Kathy Dodell Wilson, you are going to get a spin here of the Wheel of Fro. And what is on the Wheel of Fro, you may ask? Well, Jared, it's the same thing that's been on the wheel for the last couple weeks, including a Rode microphone, which we talked about today. You're not going to win an $800 microphone if it lands on it in the way of the Stereo Video Mic X, which is made of aluminum and has a Rycote Lyre coating, shock mount. But it will be a different Rode microphone if it lands on that. You've got a Fro prize, which is whatever the Fro prize ends up being. Adorama Picks is a money or free prints, or it's like $100 worth of stuff. Borrow lenses, $250 in Borrow Lenses credit, which is really a lot of money. Squarespace, you get a free business year, which is almost $200. If you want to check out Squarespace, go to squarespace.com/fro. You get your 14-day free trial on me. Lexar, that's all I have to say about that. Black Rapid, which it landed on Black Rapid last week for Jessica Blunt. Blunt. I think that was her name. Then we got a Fro prize, and we have a question mark. If it lands on the question mark, Dan, that means you get anything on the wheel except for the DJI Phantom. It has to land in between here on the DJI Phantom for you to win the DJI Phantom, or you get a Fro prize. Rode microphone, Think Tank bags. Thank you, Think Tank, for the bags that you send us. You'll win a bag. Adorama Picks, Borrow Lenses, Squarespace, Fro prize, Black Rapid. If there's something you want to see on the wheel that is capable, that we're capable of putting on the wheel, let us know, and maybe we'll try to get them to put it on the wheel. They do not pay to be put on the wheel. I do not charge them. I just ask them to give away a prize as a little pluggy McPluggerson, as a thank you, because it's fun and exciting. So we've got Kathy Dodwell Wilson is about to spin the what, Dan?
The wheel.
Of?
Fro.
Wheel. I was just busting your balls. That's how Sutter does it.
That's
all
how
right,
he does
here we
it.
go. I gotta get this. Not good enough. There we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody. Oh my God! It's gonna stop on Adorama Picks. Woo-hoo! Congratulations to Kathy. You are winning some prints and maybe a book, or just probably credit to Adorama Picks. Dan, can you remove this from the table for us, please? Thank you very much. Crossing. I know. I bust Dan's balls. Do you know what Dan did once on the very first shoot that really upset me? Do you remember, Dan?
Uh-oh.
Well, it goes over here.
There are many things.
Many things? No, I'm going to wait till you get back to the mic. There was this time when we were in my crossing, where we were in my loft shooting the first guide, and you were getting a reflection on one of my prints. What did you do?
I put some tape behind the print against the wall at an angle.
With a pen?
Oh, yeah. I propped it up away from the wall at a 45-degree angle because we didn't have any dulling spray to put all over Jared's work.
No, you would never do that. I would have punched you in the face.
Comes right off.
So wait, he like propped a pen up?
He just put a pen behind. I was like, what is going on over there? I got upset.
But did he mess up the print or anything?
No.
It worked.
There you go. He did his job.
Yeah, I guess. All right, so that's the Wheel of Fro. It's time now for Gear of the Week.
Gear of the Week.
I am going to get the Gear of the Week.
Are you done, the questions?
Yeah.
That was quick.
I either forgot a page somewhere or that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. No, that was all of them.
That was all of them.
Let me get the things. What are we going to do tonight? Where are we going?
So we're going to shoot a football game to review the D750, and we rented some big-ass bazooka lenses to shoot with. So that is what these are. We got a bad boy 600 millimeter and 400, his little brother. So you still see me good, right, Dan? What we have here is something that you need to tune into the video for, because we've got a 400 2.8 Nikon and a AFS VR, not the newest version, that's not out fully yet, and the 600 f4 from Nikon. And holy behemoth. Oh my God.
These came from Borrow Lenses. I reached out to Borrow Lenses and said, hey, can I borrow these lenses for this shoot to test out the D750? Why you would put a D750 on a hunk of glass like this baffles, it doesn't matter. I would love to put my D4S on this, which I'm not taking tonight, so I don't do that. Which is a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's for the D750.
It's for the D750.
It shouldn't
Why
matter.
bring your D4S?
We can still review these lenses. Okay, the 400 2.8, the old version is $86.99. That's
Okay.
$8,699. The new version, which is 2 pounds lighter, this is a 10-pound lens. The new one, $11,996.95.
Wow.
All right, and then the 600 right there is $9,799. Holy hell!
It's a lot of money.
We're taking
Lot of
these to a
quiche.
high school football game.
Yep.
A high school football
Yeah,
game.
they better be happy that we're gonna get some awesome images. of them.
I hope. I don't know. I've never shot with a 400 2.8, and I've
you-
never shot with a 600.
Have you shot there in general?
Oh yeah.
So
I went to high school.
How's
there.
it lit at night?
Terribly.
Terribly.
That's a great
Awesome.
test for the
It is a
Nikon
good test,
D750.
yeah.
You need to get you need to bring the F&V lighting with you.
I do.
Not the big, just one panel for when I turn and talk. But I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, are you going to be all around?
We're going to be moving around the sideline.
Gotcha.
Sam Green is hopefully coming to
Assisting.
assist and tote these lenses around.
Yep.
I'll have one. He'll have one. We're going to have a video tripod that we'll probably set up in the end zone, around the end zone somewhere, that's going to stay so that we could attach this to shoot video with that camera
Oh, okay.
to keep it down low. Now it's manually focusing. So, do you have your pull ring we could wrap around the thing?
If it fits around something like this.
If you have an extra. Yeah, they're very girthy, Dan. Is this what you see when you take off your pants?
Yes.
Actually, it's bigger.
Well, because I didn't think there was anything bigger than the 400. Now the 800 is bigger than the 600, obviously,
yeah.
but holy Jesus, these are big lenses. So that's gear of the week, guys. These came from Borrow Lenses. I do reach out to them and say, hey, can I borrow a lens? And then we do a review. We're gonna do some kind of video with these when we get there too, just about these two big ass pieces of glass, and we'll put sample images after it because I might as well make it and just be like, holy crap, I'm carrying
Bazookas.
$18,000 worth of glass in these two lenses right here. Wow. $18,000 in glass.
You're carrying a car.
And am I worried about it? No, I'm not worried about it. They're insured.
I was going to say, Borrow Lenses have the insurance, right?
I think it's all covered. I mean, if something happens, something happens. And, hopefully it doesn't get hit by like a meteorite. But these are monsters. They are big. You must use a tripod. I got strained just holding it the other day. And that is pretty much, let's do a quick wrap up. We talked about Dan, why he was filling in. We wish Steven Sutter a speedy Mr. McFeely recovery. The Rode Mic Stereo Video Mic X. Go check that out over on the website. Atomos Ninja Star contest is open and available till November 30th. You can do almost anything, but it has to be a 1 to 3 minute video that is Ninja related. And all the information is again posted over on the site. And second annual Allen's Nikonapalooza, October 18th. Hopefully also the day that we release the video guide. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that is what we're shooting for, to get it out. We're working towards it. That is the hopes. Dan, thank you for coming out today. You can pick up your check at checkout later. Sound good?
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Oh, thank you, Dan. You're amazing. And Steven.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys at home. Check out all the information that we talked about, all the photo newsies type stories and more at fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-104. I'm about to sneeze, so I'm going to sign off before I sneeze. Jared Polin, fronosphoto.com, pineapple. See ya.